Oh, that's slick. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. It's time for that Mod Collection Demo Shop update. This week, the mod collection was literally firing on all cylinders. Okay, maybe I lied. There was this standard 60s in honey hive finish that didn't really look all that special to me, with its honey burst top and red back, but wait till you see these others. And we're gonna start with this Axcess custom. This is like the perfect St. Patrick's Day guitar. It's ultra blingy. It's a very dark green mixed with a lighter green and a gold hue. You've got the fully blinged out gold Floyd rose, double gold humbuckers, regular control knobs, stark white binding as a nice contrast. No matching headstock or anything like that, but still blingy and gold. But then you flip over to the backside and you can tell, oh yeah, they went full burst and glitter mode. And then here's a shot of the whole back. What's really unique about this is usually Axcess customs do not get bursted paint jobs back here because they've got the comfort cut and then they've got the swoop. So it looks like what they did is they left the swoop alone as far as just being straight up green. But these mad lads at the mod collection actually bursted the cutaway, which is the first I've ever seen a Gibson done that way. And then of course we get the burst on the neck. So whoever did this, fantastic job. I can't imagine that would have been easy to get it to look right. But then we've got black back plates. Had they been shiny gold brass material, I think that would have been cool too. Had that been a stop bar Axcess, I would have bought that. But it was offered at $6,300. But oh wow, surprisingly, still unsold. I mean, sure, it's about an $800 premium, but reading our description down here, they put push-pull pots in it for coil splitting, but it's got a regular Les Paul custom neck. I did not notice that. The brand new ones have the Apex head carve, which I think is a cool thing, but it makes this Axcess even more unique. But if that's not budget friendly, what about the standard 50s? They called it Silky Sparkle, but this is just like a really out there in your face pink. But yet all the multicolored flakes within it doesn't make it look like Barbie pink. It's more like diseased brain pink. And of course it's all blinged out with gold hardware. We've got our golden knobs, ambered over switch tip. The top didn't really do it for me, but wait till you see the back. It's purple, and this is a full-on gloss refinish it appears looking at that neck. So the side profile shot will be pretty nice with the purple and then your pink layer. So maybe one that would be better appreciated in person rather than these stock photos. And appreciated in person it will be because it is gone. But now to cleanse our eyes, look at this Silverburst SG Custom. It was done up in satin, so it's a nice flat finish, and they put the Gibson 496R 500T pickups in here and just blacked everything out. Not only that, they gave it fancy electronics. So you got your coil splits here, you've got in and out of phase, and you also have bypass direct to bridge. So it sounds like they put a modern PCB in it. But besides the satin finish on the headstock, everything seems about the same. But for the back, at least they did the full-on burst job, so I can give them props for that. $5,600 was a little bit expensive, but it found a loving home. But if you like that pink and purple Les Paul, here's a different matchup of colors that they called Island Toffee. It's a regular Les Paul custom. They technically gave you a discount. It has those P94 pickups in it, but it's got like a brownish cover material that they called Island Toffee pickup covers. And then everything else seems kind of regular white Les Paul custom until we look at the edges. It appears they also gave them a toffee flavor, but yet the back is completely white. In the 70s, there actually is a model that is a white top, black back and sides. Those things are fantastic. I call them the Tuxedo customs. We documented one quite some time ago. But now we take a look at the neck and oh, they gave it a toffee neck with kind of a white stinger, and this appears to be a satin finish, judging by our headstock. So maybe one that'd be better appreciated in person. To follow that up, we have a fancy studio that they called Scarlet Lace. So this kind of reminds me of the Nitrous series that we had just recently documented. There's a red finish that looks shockingly similar. However, this one actually has that lace design around it, so we saw that on an Explorer a couple of weeks ago. But this floral lace design just isn't put on the bursted section. I think that's a nice touch on a Les Paul. But we've got a P94 in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge. The spec sheet says it's a 500T, that's gonna be hot. But now I'm curious about the back. It doesn't seem like we have any more lacing going on back here. But at least it is a full-on gloss refinish. It even has the same you can see the mahogany wood grain thing that the Nitrous series had. But oh, okay, there's this. It's got a matching headstock with a little bit of lace. I think they might be onto something there. I like the fact that it's also bursted. You don't have that in the center, and those are very clearly new and slightly different decals than Gibson usually uses. I could see this as a limited edition run, and I bet they would sell because this one was $2,100. That's a $500 premium, but it did not struggle to find a new home. But hey, they did give it an upgrade of a hard shell case rather than the soft case. Although those soft cases actually are quite nice. This one almost didn't make the cut for being cool, but it's a satin finished blue Lefty SG Special. That's not why it's cool. Gotta check out the back. We've got a natural mahogany looking neck. Now it looks like it's still tinted, but this is actually a throwback to the late 60s melody makers that were in this body style. Their necks were not painted. So this is more so a nod to history rather than just being weird. Oh, I missed that. It's just an oiled neck? I thought for sure that was tinted. That is some red mahogany. Whoever bought that one, you'll have to let me know how that neck feels, because that's the second straight up oiled neck that we've seen the mod collection bring out. This next standard 50s was quite beautiful. They called it Peach Popover. I think you just could have named it Peach Pop. It looks nice, bubbly and fizzy, refreshing. This is another one of those colors where I think they just need to bring it to production. It's great. A little bit more exciting than the gold top and tobacco sunburst finish that we normally have on these. Especially with our cream plastics. Just gives you that creamsicle vibe. But then you flip it over to the back, they left it natural. That's one you would have to see in person to get the side profile shot and the top to fully appreciate. Well, that's pretty cool. And a custom color at a discount, that's why it's sold. So I would say that is a very solid offering this week. If I had to choose just one that was my favorite, I'd probably give that to the Axcess custom. And my next three runners up being Scarlet Lace, Peach Popover, and Silly Sparkle. But you'll have to let me know your top three in the comments below. But now let's check out the EU mod collection. I don't know what's going on with this one. So far it just has not been that exciting. Like the initial drops had some unique colors, but the drops since then haven't been that exciting and most of these are not selling for them. This week there was a SG standard base in ebony that they put a Thunderbird pickup in. Not really that exciting. Then a standard 60s in Guitar Center Tri-Burst finish. However, they just played with the pickups a bit. And then I thought we had already saw this, but maybe it was only viewed in the preview collection video. It's either that or it was returned by somebody and they had to repost it. But it's a nice satin finish green. It's got an interesting vibe to it with a Bigsby B7 added onto it. But I'm kind of curious how long this mod collection might last if people aren't buying it. What makes the USA mod collection so much more wildly successful? I think, honestly, it comes down to when it was first introduced. This was the COVID era. It was high competition, so people got used to, if you want anything out of this shop, you better be there when it updates, and you better be ready to type in your credit card information if you want anything. And typically, the cool ones will sell for a premium on the used market, so it's like instant investment. The market has slowly been changing on that, where only the really special ones tend to bring premiums, but at the same time, Gibson had to get out of people's heads that refinished equals highly devalued. Because if you would have asked me 3 years ago what a factory refinished guitar would be worth, I would not say more than a regular one, that's for sure, but now the mod collection has kind of changed that up a little bit. For example, my Renecked Les Paul Custom. It was a 1976, sent back to Gibson for a brand new neck to be put on it, and it was refinished, and I struggled to sell that thing due to all the work that had been done to it. But nowadays, I think that thing would actually sell for even more because it's got a history, and Gibson did all the work. It's cool to have a Gibson redone guitar now. So funny how things like that change. So with those thoughts in place, it just seems the UK mod collection is just kind of boring because they're not doing all the fancy finishes. So we'll have to see the future of these additional shops. Somebody made an interesting episode last week when we talked about Gibson opening the London shop. If a guitar sits around long enough in the USA mod collection, they send it on down to the Gibson garage where it's basically just treated as new inventory there to keep everything fresh. Will the same thing happen in this new mod collection? We just don't know. Only time will tell. But now let's check out our demo shops. Good old USA. It had a whole bunch of Les Pauls. Like they dropped a good 40 instruments this week. But what stood out to me was this 335 because it was kind of taken at an interesting photo angle. But more importantly, it looks like they missed the grain fill, or they missed sanding it down, or there were contaminations in the finish. It's always interesting to see what makes things become a second. And then this listing, I had a viewer of the show reach out to me about. They were interested in it because it actually says custom shop demo. So yeah, custom shop Adam Jones. Yes, that would be worth way more than $2,500. But nah, this is just the Gibson USA version. But still, $2,500 for one of these is a pretty okay price. It wasn't that long ago when those things were selling for premiums before they caught up to market demand. But as far as items that sold quickly, this Les Paul Classic was given Voodoo vibes. Fretboard stands out like a sore thumb, but you've got your cool Voodoo pickups with your red lettered poker chip, all completely blacked out. I really like that white outlining of the classic truss rod cover. It contrasts very beautifully. But man, if that just had a straight up ebony fretboard with no binding, that would be awesome. But at that point, you might as well just buy a Voodoo. But that was not a bad price for a classic. This SG Tribute was for $1,100. I think why it sold is you get a little bit of flame figuring within your mahogany body. Now don't get me wrong, it's nothing crazy, but it's a little bit, something to get excited for. Same thing with your neck, it'll have a little bit of a chatoyan effect. But our headstock was left alone. This 50s hand select top, I just thought it was obnoxiously uniform, like in a good way, and it had the regular red back. But look at this one. $2,400 for one of the newer greeny Les Pauls. Those are $3,200 brand new. That's a fantastic steal of a deal. But this has to be the nicest one I've seen. I mean, guys, you gotta remember, this is a satin finish and it looks that good. Imagine if you buff that up into a full gloss. It doesn't look anything like greeny, but that is just a monster top within Gibson USA territory. It's even got the cross-hatched wood grain. Had I had seen this, I just would have picked it up. The back's not too bad either. Congratulations whoever got that thing. Then they also had a white custom, but they gave it the Stormtrooper vibes. That's why I thought this was so cool. They gave you chrome hardware and the chrome topped knobs and the uncovered pickups. It is always a cool look, but you just don't find chrome hardware white Les Paul customs too often. You usually have to modify them yourself. But now, our European friends. Again, all month long in August, you get a free Maestro pedal if you buy anything from them. They've got a whole bunch of backlogged inventory. And as far as brand new, they had one of the 335 P90s, which is a Gibson.com exclusive. I guess now that I think about it, it would be very hard for somebody in the Netherlands to get a GibsonUSA.com exclusive guitar, so yeah, that's probably a good idea. And they also had this 60s figure top, not particularly groundbreaking. But I thought this slash top was nice. Very dark and probably ultra moving in person. And then our UK demo shop. They had a Lefty Silverburst custom. Didn't seem like much of a discount at $5,200, but you don't see them every day. As well as a Lefty USA Casino from the Epiphone branding. And then lastly, an Axcess custom. And that's pretty much all they had the whole week. So the US shop took things by storm, but the UK Netherlands area, they've definitely been holding back on us for a couple of weeks. Maybe they're like on vacation and then they're gonna start to get crazy again, but only time will tell on that, my friends. All right, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.